Good morning. Namaste. Welcome. Okay, so what are we talking about today? Happiness. When you ask anybody what is it that we want in life, what do they say? Just want peace, just want happiness, just want joy. Isn't it? And it seems to be the most natural things in our life, and yet the most difficult to attain. Isn't it? We want peace of mind. Why do we want anything? Why do we want money? Why do we want good relationships? Why do we want good health? Ultimately, to be happy. But is happiness so difficult to get? Most of the time, and especially when people reach out to me, they're in a so-called unhappy state of mind. And actually, it's so natural to be happy. And that's what I thought that we would be talking about. Because, we get caught in that vicious cycle. When we are all born, or you look at a small child, always happy, isn't it? Without any reason, laughing, crying, smiling. Whenever they need anything, they cry, they make a noise, and they immediately attend it to. And what are their needs? Either they are hungry, they need food, they need milk, or they need to be changed, or they need to be just held. Isn't it? And any one of these things, the moment they receive it, they're happy. You see them back to their original nature. Because by default, we're all born happy. Then as we grow, the sense of separation comes in, the ego mind comes in. This is mine, this is yours, I have more, she has less, or I have less, she has more. All these things begin to come in. And that separation, which we call that separation from the source, is what we call as ego. Separation from the self. Ego is not about arrogance. Ego is just separation from the self. And that actually causes unhappiness, because now we begin to shift. As we grow, we begin to shift our focus from the internal things, from the things that we naturally have, to the external. And as our focus shifts from the internal to the external, we move from happiness to unhappiness, because we are all focused outwards. Isn't it? A small child, even a toddler, 3 years, 4 years, they have nothing to be unhappy. If they're unhappy, they will cry. They will demand for what they want. They'll throw a tantrum. They'll say, I hate you. You're not a good parent because you did not give them the chocolate that they wanted. They say, they express, they vent, they release, and they're back to doing what they need to do. If you ask that child at night, you said this in the morning, you were angry. But at that moment, the child was angry. At that moment, the child did not get what he or she wanted. They expressed their anger, released it, finished, and ready for the next. But as we grow, we are told not to express those things, not to express your emotions, because if you express your emotions, you become vulnerable. You are looked upon as somebody who's weak, who's not strong enough, who's not good enough. But that's really not true. And now we're actually reversing all that conditioning that through lifetimes we've been learning. Now it's all being removed and erased, because now parents are telling their children to please express, say what you need to, just put it all out, finish it, process it, and don't carry it inside. Because it is these suppressed emotions that ultimately lead to all these so-called lifestyle disorders, heart attacks, diabetes, cancer, liver cirrhosis. All these diseases are only a manifestation of suppressed emotions. In fact, this forum that I'm speaking on right now, this Soulful Sunday Talks, when we started them about 2.5 years back, we actually started with just talking about the body-mind connect. And actually telling you that all these suppressed emotions that we feel, honored to hold on to, actually come out sooner or later in your body in forms of aches and pains and all these lifestyle disorders that I'm mentioning. And that is what causes unhappiness, because we suppress that unhappiness within us. And at that moment, we are not able to express it fully. And yes, there may be times, there may be moments where you cannot fully, vent out. That's fine. But sooner or later, process that emotion. Because, I'm studying a particular modality, which is called the family constellation system, which some of you may be familiar with. And more and more, as I'm going along in my modules, which I'm going to certify in very soon, we are learning that all these suppressed emotions, these feelings of rejection, exclusion, growing up and identification in childhood, all these actually lead on to a lot of complexes, a lot of kind of, uh, emotional or personality disorders that we all experience when we grow up. Some children who feel a sense of rejection, say from the time of their birth, are carrying that emotion of rejection from a past life. Somebody may have pushed them off a cliff in a past life, and that's how the last emotion that they kind of felt in the body was one of rejection. That vibration carries with that soul in subsequent lifetimes too. Their parents may be absolutely doting on that child, and they may be, everyone around really loving that child, but somehow that child always feels rejected. And any of these one emotions, rejection, betrayal, anger, hurt, that we hold on to, leads to unhappiness, isn't it? And actually, as we start to develop an identity of our own, once we start growing a little bit, and that sense of separation or that identity starts to become more and more firm in our mind's eye, that's when the unhappiness actually begins to happen. A small child cannot express their unhappiness because at that time, that child does not have the emotional capability to deal with that trauma, whether it is just that the parents leave the child in a crib, or they leave the child in a daycare center, and absolutely they're well meaning, they don't have the means to be at home with the child, they have to work, and they might try their best, but sometimes that child does not have that emotional capability to deal with that trauma. And that's why in later life it reflects as some kind of exclusion or sense of rejection, betrayal. But all said and done, now that we're in a state of awareness, or when we come into that space where we start forming an identity of our own, and maybe when we become like, say, 10 years or 12 years, as we enter into teenagers, what is it that we keep, what is it that blocks us from our happiness? Okay, now I'm in class 10th. I just have to get, 92% to get into the science stream, and then I'll be happy. You get 92, you get into the science stream. Now I have to apply for medical. I have to get into the medical college, and then my life will be sorted and I'll be happy. You study hard, you put in all your energy, you get your admission in the best or the medical school that you wanted, and you feel, yes, I've attained that. But happiness is still far away, because now you want that, you should complete these 5 years, you should just master it, you should get into the stream of medical that you want to. And once I get that, then I'll be happy. The moment you get that, it's okay, now it's time for me to start my practice. I need to have I need to have a good clinic. I need to build a good hospital. When I'll do that, I'll really be happy. You do that also, but you're still not happy. Okay, now it's time to move into my personal life. My professional life is set, but I need to find somebody, in my life, and then I'll really be happy when I get married. Okay, that happens. Okay, now I need to have children. That happens, but now I need to look after my children. I'll be happy when I can bring up these children, to the best of my ability. So you keep doing your best for your children, and then, you feel that, okay, there's more that I need to do to make myself happy. And then the children grow up, then it's about the children's education, then it's about the children's marriage, and then it's about the parents, then it's about it just goes on endlessly. Because in all this life history, which is for all of us in different ways, all of us in different ways, whether it's personally or professionally, the happiness quotient, the happiness that we are seeking for, is all outwardly based. And believe me, you will never reach that sense of satisfaction, because you're in that vicious cycle. Now I'll be successful in this. Now I'll be successful in my education. Then I'll be successful in my career. Then I'll be successful in my relationship. Then I'll be successful in bringing up successful children. Only then I'll be happy. But that success quotient will never be fulfilled. It's like an infinite pool of things which you'll always keep, digging to so-called be happy. And the moment you take a pause, doing whatever you need to do in the outside world, whether it is your education, whether it is your profession, whether it is your personal life, whether it is your finances. The moment you stop and take a pause and turn inwards and see, wow, I'm in such a happy place, not because of what I have achieved externally, but only because internally I feel grounded, I feel connected, I feel that I'm in the right place and life is happening in perfect divine order. The moment I come into alignment with this, I may have failed my exam, I may not have been a successful doctor, I may not have been a successful parent. That happiness from inside will always be with you. And that is what you need to connect to more and more. So don't keep postponing your happiness because you feel, first I have to do this, then I'll be happy. First I have to do this, then I'll be happy. No, now you move in the so-called backward direction, even if you feel it is regressing back. Can I be happy now? And then work towards my education, then work towards my goal, then work towards my children. I mean, you may be giving the best of education and the best of life to your children, but if you're an unhappy parent, if you're always grumbling and unhappy and complaining, do you think that your children will, acknowledge that all that you're providing for them? Children only want happy parents. And we only want happy friends. If there's a person who's unhappy, who's in your friend circle or who's, in your relatives, you would want to stay away from that person, isn't it? Gosh, she just drains my energy. She just keeps complaining. She's so unhappy in her life. I don't want to be around her. We all feel that. Why? Because that's not the energy we want to be with. That's not the energy we wish to connect with. So you first be happy and see how much you will be accepted, how successful you will be in every aspect of your life. And it's not difficult to get that happiness from inside. And it's not wrong to aspire or have desires or ambitions or aspirations, not at all. But don't wait for those to be tick marked and then say, okay, now I'm happy in life. No, be happy in life and you will see all these things. Really, whatever level you achieve, it'll be just fine. Otherwise, you may go there, but be unhappy. I'd rather be here and be happy. Agree? Disagree? Snigdha, you had a question. I saw your raised hand. Please share. I love to hear you.
Good morning, ma'am. मैम मैं थोड़ा अपने बारे में थोड़ा पीछे से ग्रुप so I had a very difficult phase as a child, you know, from 8th grade onwards, I was abused, and I mean, the आप जितना भी उस लेवल को आप सोचो कि एक बच्चे के साथ एक लड़की के साथ किस तरीके का अब्यूज हो सकता है, उसको आप 100 डिग्री ज़्यादा बोलो. And till my college, I was from class 3 by the same. Then I was forced to marriage by the same person because I had made up my mind that I will tell my mother and father about it. He was very close to my mother, and somehow she didn't get away from what is happening around. It's just past now, but I always try to keep everybody happy around. I was 21 when I got 22. I had my first son, and 24 I had my second child. But for me, it was always like, मेरे को सबको खुश रखना. I have to keep everybody happy. मेरी खुशी किसी में ही है. And in 16.5 years, I've been married, and only recently that I started working upon myself through the inner science program.
Snigdha, don't move so
But
much. Sorry, I'm sorry for interrupting. Don't move so much because your voice is coming and going, okay? Just try to speak into the mic. Okay? Thanks. Sorry.
am I able now, ma'am?
Yeah.
So, this is only recently that I started working. of all this, whether it's my personality or spirituality. बट अगर कोई मुझसे आज पूछना स्टेटस में किस चीज में खुशी मिलती है, मुझे नहीं। हालांकि बहुत सी चीजें हैं जो कि मैं करना चाहती हूँ और मुझे लगता है और मुझे पता है कि ये देगी, पर मेरे आसपास जो हालात।
आपकी आवाज नहीं आ रही हमें।
मैम
think now I should be able to you.
Yeah.
Am I audible, ma'am? Yes.
Yeah,
Sorry,
yeah.
ma'am. So, like I was saying, I have always kept others ahead of me. I've always tried to, find my happiness in their happiness. But today, if somebody asks me, स्निग्धा तुम्हें क्या अच्छा लगता है, तुम्हें किस चीज में खुशी मिलेगी, मुझे नहीं पता।
Okay.
क्योंकि एक तो मेरे आसपास के हालात ऐसे हैं, I won't go into the details.
Yeah.
It's okay.
We
जैसा
understand.
भी है, जो भी है, one has to deal with it. But how do you ground yourself in such a situation when everything outside you is just not working around? How
Yeah.
do you keep that faith intact that everything is going to be fine for me?
So the thing is, everything, firstly, don't go into the future, and once again, I thank you for speaking up and sharing this, because I know a lot of other people are going through the same kind of situations, maybe in different life circumstances, but I understand and I really, really empathize with you. And I'm very happy because this is the first step that you are taking to get into your happiness. You are taking responsibility for your happiness. A lot of times, all your life, as you've mentioned, you are trying to do for others. You are trying to find happiness in the happiness for others. But that's the biggest myth that we all live with. If my children are happy, I'm going to be happy. But children will only be happy if they want to be happy, isn't it? If they choose to be unhappy all their lives, you can't waste your life thinking that when they will be happy, then I will be happy, right? So very good that firstly you're taking that responsibility upon yourself to find happiness for yourself. And yes, somewhere along this path, because of all your traumas which you have not dealt with or have not got the opportunity to deal with in your life, you are now at a point where physically, mentally, and emotionally, you just cannot take it anymore. And so you come to that point where you're hit against the wall or you're thrown into the deeper end of the pool, where you have to find your own hands and feet to save yourself, isn't it? I would say that
I am working on myself, ma'am.
yes,
I'm
I see
working.
that. I see that, and this is the first step. Like last time you spoke, today you're speaking. This is what is required for you to understand that it's okay to be unhappy also. But that is not our state of being. It's only when we see darkness that we know that light exists, isn't it? You've always been in the dark and you've seen light as something far away which you can never attain, isn't it? But now when you're beginning to see little light and you say, no, I don't want to be in the darkness. The darkness has shown you that there is a light which you can live in also. So when you are thrown into this aspect of life and when you hit rock bottom, that's the time we turn around and we say, okay, now I'm going to take the responsibility of myself. And for you, I would say it's not that what gives you happiness. Do you even want to be happy? I mean, as a natural response, one would say yes. But if we go into the deeper aspect of understanding and questioning this for you, you would say it's okay. If I'm happy, I'm fine. If I'm not, this is what it is. So firstly, when you say how do we keep that faith, is to understand internally that your connection to yourself and your respect, I'm using a word different from happiness, that your own respect for yourself is what is going to make you happy. And outside, every time that you've been hit, you've been abused, you've been sort of hit, I mean, don't mean physical hit, meaning in whichever ways you've had a downfall, it's only because your self-respect has been crushed. Somebody has just used you as a doormat and walked over you in different situations, isn't it? Whether sometimes it's our parents, it's our partners, it's our people at work, it could even be children when they grow up. So now you have to take that that, that rein in your own hands, that nobody can walk over me, first and foremost. I'm not going to let anybody walk over me and just say whatever or do whatever. And by saying that and doing that, you do not need to be aggressive. You don't have to fight. You don't have to revolt. You don't have to, go out and, fight and be aggressive, because then there is no difference between you and them. It's like my self-respect. I'm going to build those healthy boundaries for myself firstly. I'm going to build those healthy boundaries for myself firstly. And I'm going to say that I'm not going to cross these boundaries. Nobody can enter into my energy system. When you say, okay, so if you did for others, there are two things that I'm going to point out here, which may be a little irrelevant, but have a very strong relevance. When I am doing for somebody and I'm not getting in return, I tell people that if doing that gives you happiness, forget about the return. Just say, okay, I brought up these children. I mean, they gave me an opportunity to be a mother. They brought up, they helped me to complete womanhood. And now they are like not nice to me, but I don't want to go into that because I enjoyed bringing that child up. Isn't it? It's not a give and take relationship. So just in the same way, if I do enjoyed, or if I was happy doing for others and that doing helped me get happiness, it's okay. Let's just stop and put it at that, right? But now, if it is tarnishing my self-respect, not from the point of reciprocation, but now that I have understood my boundaries, and if somebody trespasses upon that, because yeah, there was a time when I could do a lot. Now I can't. I need to focus more on myself. I was younger, I was stronger, I was more exposed. Now maybe life is catching up and I need to go a little slow, and I can't be doing to that level. And just because I can't do to that level, I am miserable and the other people are kicking me, then that means that you have to step back and build those healthy boundaries. You enjoyed doing whatever you wanted to do for them for that part of your life, but now you have to shift your focus inside, because that disappointment, that pain, those expectations are what are creating your unhappiness. That I gave everything for this, but now I'm again being treated like this because maybe today I cannot give to that level. And for whatever reasons, if I'm sitting and I see somebody is coming to hit me, won't you protect yourself physically? If you see this person coming with a big stick and you know that they're going to hit you, you will instantly protect yourself. So in the same way, when you know that somebody is coming around and they're going to say something which is emotionally hurting, which is going to put you down, and actually they are triggering pain bodies that are there, which you have suppressed yourself with, thinking that if I don't speak, everybody will be happy. Let me not go into a confrontation, because if I pick up this topic, there'll be hell in the house, and then it'll be so difficult. Everybody will walk off and shut their room doors, but I will be the one sitting here and crying with guilt. Isn't it? We've all done these kind of things to suppress those emotions inside us, but it bursts sooner or later. Believe me, it bursts sooner or later. And now when you're at that point, you need to protect yourself. You need to form that protection shield around you. And again, like I mentioned to you in the last time, that this strength that you or the energy that you have used, and which is now putting you in a place where you don't have that energy to give it to anybody outside. Use that energy to empower yourself. If you could do for others, you can do for yourself. Why is it that we only have expectation that somebody should do for me? Don't do that. Don't do that. Get your strength. Use the situation of using a word abuse or whatever you have gone through in your life, traumas, to now empower yourself. Not and everybody can take all this, isn't it? They would probably crack or be in depression or be in a mental asylum. But you have stood strong, because now the universe wants you to get your strength back and not allow this to happen. Not only and by empowering yourself and stopping this in your own life, you are stopping it in so many other people's lives. But forget about the others. Just focus on yourself. Just trust that you have the ability to deal with these kind of issues, and you will not allow anybody to come into your energy system. You're going to form those healthy boundaries. How will you form faith? How will you get that faith, or how will you be in that faith? I totally understand that it's not easy, because everything is only pulling you down. It's like fighting against gravity, isn't it? Because the moment you take a step, there's a past imprint, there's a past situation. You see it in the people around you, in the situations around you. And honestly, in the world, this hasn't stopped. If you put on the news today, all about Manipur, it's all about abuse, it's all about rape everywhere. So nothing lets you not remember those traumas in our society, isn't it?
Ma'am, it's
Yeah, sorry.
more like I don't think about my past so much, but
You don't, yeah, I'm interrupting you here because I know what you're saying. You don't think about your past, as in you don't think about those stories, but there is a pain body inside which gets erupted, and you feel emotions, you feel weak, you feel, I can't trust, I don't have that, I don't know what to hold on to. I'm swimming, but I need an anchor, I need something to hold on to, I need to ground, like you use that word. That's what you need. If you know that you are sitting in the lap of Mother Earth, or somebody is holding your hands, or you have a ground underneath your feet, you will not feel that you're sinking, isn't it? Right? Please continue with what you were saying. You don't go into the past, but
ma'am, it has so happened like in my marriage, like over the years, I opened up about my past to my husband also, and ever since then, it's been like 6.5 years. We have grown distant. We have not grown.
so
We
see
have
the
not
fact is,
sort of been
yeah,
able to establish that bond. And there's so much of giving and so much of expectation out of me that I don't have anything to give to anybody now.
absolutely, you don't need to.
I don't have anything to give to anybody, and the mere fact that I've started working upon myself has also sort of like my husband's reaction to it is ki ऐसा क्यों, ऐसा क्या गलत किया मैंने, whereas subconsciously over the years even he has been in a, not consciously but subconsciously, even he has been ever since he got to know, he has been pushing me to a side as if my feelings didn't matter. And uh, in March, it came down to such a level that I was under a lot of depression. I had panic attacks. I tried to, kill myself also, tried to jump off from the roof and slit my wrist also. I've done so many things uh, at that time, whatever was best. I thought that this is the only thing that is going to give me, deliverance, and इससे ही मुक्ति मिलेगी और कोई चीज नहीं है. बट जब मैं अपने ऊपर काम करना शुरू करती हूँ, जब मैं इस तरीके से बोलती हूँ कि प्लीज अभी मुझसे मत बात करो, आई एम नॉट इन दैट स्टेट, लेट मी हील माई सेल्फ, आई एम वर्किंग ऑन माई सेल्फ, लेट मी डू दैट peacefully. As a mother, I am doing whatever I can do for the children. But as a wife, I don't want to do anything. I hang my uniform as a wife.
Hmm.
I just have to focus on my health, my well-being, and my children's well-being. इतनी resistance, itni negativity. I'm so grateful that my parents now, when they know, they support me, they are with me. But obviously that does hurt them also when they see their daughter like this and grandchildren like this. How do I keep that, how do I keep myself grounded?
Yeah, I hear you. I totally hear you. And understand one thing here. You want the other person to accept, this state of being. But first, just come into your heart and say, it's okay if I don't respond to my husband's needs. It's okay if I cannot, reply back at this time. When you come into that state of full acceptance of what, say, in a way, what you cannot give, you have to be okay with that fact. But if you're carrying a guilt that I cannot fulfill his demands, if you are carrying even an iota of that in your head, it will just be amplified more and more. So just tell yourself firstly that it's okay. When you say I'm working on myself, it's okay to be working on myself. And just tell yourself it's fine if I need to cut off from this aspect of my life for now. I cut off from it. It's absolutely okay. If this person is meant to be in my life, because he has to accept me as I am. I mean, it's something that was there in my past, isn't it? And your sharing it would probably have meant coming from a space where you would have kind of needed that support, but it backfired, isn't it? I totally understand this aspect. And it does in a lot of cases in life. So just know that don't base your happiness on the acceptance, your acceptance from your husband. You know what I mean? say, look at the happiness of, yeah, it pains to see my parent, but like you say, thank God my parents are there, they support me. At least I have that happiness that I can hang on to whatever level I'm doing for my children, or but the thing is that the children and the parents, what they need is a happy Snigdha. They need a happy mother. They need a happy daughter, right? If the daughter feels that this has happened in my past, I have not been accepted due to all this, my husband is still not accepting me in the way that I.
Ma'am, your video has paused. I can't hear you, ma'am.
Ma'am will just be back. Give her a second. Maybe her signal has been lost.
Okay.
Percent okay to focus on myself, you will see that the happiness will just be there. I'm sorry, there might have been a lapse because the electricity went off.
Ji,
So,
ji, ji.
yeah. So, what I'm trying to say is that just forget about everything else. And just know that you've said that you've tried to do everything possible to end your life, but God wants you to live, isn't it? Because you have that ability, and wo mukti nahi milti. You will take another birth in a torturous life. So deal with all these things, face them up front. What is the fear? What is the fear? Think about it. Tell yourself, what is the fear? Today, if you are strong, you are empowered. What is there to, I mean, you've cried enough. Now stop. No more crying. You tell yourself it's okay. I'm expressing it all out. I'm putting it all out. I'm not going to carry these pain bodies. And anybody who's going to pinch and hit me on those pain bodies to scratch my wounds, the moment I heal them a little bit, somebody comes and scratches them. The moment I heal my wounds, फिर उस पे somebody grazes against it and my wound is scratched. और फिर मुझे मेरा वो जख्म जो है वो ताजा हो जाता है. Isn't it? You're not going to let anybody touch those wounds because they are fully going to be healed now. That is what you need to do. That is what God wants you to do. That's what the universe wants you to do. Right? So just try to pick up those small, small things that make you happy. Just small, small things. You have a pet, you snuggle the pet, you feel happy. You go for a walk, just be fully there in the walk, and that'll make you happy. You're having a shower, just stand under the water, feel the water, just enjoy that happiness. Pick up these small, small things. Forget about the bigger things. And you will see that happiness will come to you. People will turn around and look at you with whatever you've gone through in life, and don't and instantly stop yourself from being victimized and move into that space of even small, small things giving you happiness momentarily is just okay. And where you feel, okay, this part will just scratch my wound, I am not looking at that. It's just bury it. Just write all it down, just vomit it all out, just burn it all down, just do whatever you want to, but you're not going back to those wounds. Forget about the stories. The hurt, the humiliation, the pain, to different degrees, everybody goes through. But if we just pick up that, and today if we are like, say 25, 26 odd people on this call, if I ask each one of you, everybody will have pain bodies and everybody will feel, oh, my story is so painful, isn't it? But we're not looking at those stories. They are buried, they are dead. We're not going into digging those graves, isn't it? It's like when you cremate somebody, you don't keep going back to the crematorium, isn't it? Because that part of your life is finished. It's burnt and it's gone. And with respect, whatever it needed to teach me, whatever I needed to learn with this relationship, it's gone. And I'm not going back. We don't feel happy going back there. In the same way, we will not go back even mentally to those thoughts and those situations. Every day I want you to start writing a gratitude log. You're on the gratitude group, right? Every day write those things, five things. Just send them to me personally. Just send them to Rohini personally, or any one of us.
Yeah, I'm not part of any gratitude group.
You're not part of the gratitude group. Okay, I'll make you part. Otherwise, you just
But I do journal. I do journal, and
every day write five things that make you happy. Forget about thankful. Don't say thankful. And whenever you feel that you are feeling that there is no faith, there is no light ahead, stop, pause, and just in your heart start saying thank you, thank you, thank you. Say thank you to this pain also that you're feeling inside. This pain is helping you. It's the darkness that is helping you to move towards the light. And right now you're in a transitional phase, so it feels very insecure. Is there anything to be happy about? Will there ever be anything in my life that I can be happy about? But yes, today you can be happy, and I can count like innumerable things that you can be happy about. Happy about your parents, happy about your children, happy about, just being alive. You're able to see, you breathe, you have food on your table, you have a home. There are so many things to be, say, thankful and happy about. So can we just focus on these for now? Can we just focus? I have this platform to just say that, please help me. I want to be happy. That's all that you need to tell to the universe. I don't know what it means. I don't even know the H of happy. God, can you show me how it is to be happy? I've forgotten. Right? But it's not that if you've forgotten, it's not that you cannot get it. Okay. And just keep sharing, just keep putting these things out. Just keep putting these things out. I'm sorry we had to cancel that Reiki session on that day when I told you to come because my mom was not well. But this Saturday, I invite you to please come. Just come, receive Reiki, receive this energy. You will see it can be life-changing. It can be life-changing. And now just tell yourself, bus, enough of crying. I don't want to be more sick in my old age where all my, my eyes can't see this beautiful life that is now going to come into my thing. Even if you're feeling sad, just look at a joke. I would say to be happy, the best thing is put on a Tom and Jerry cartoon. I know I'm trying to make this thing a little lighter. I don't think that I'm laughing at you at all. I respect you totally, Snigdha.
No, ma'am, that's not like that.
Just pick up
It's just that,
something.
ma'am, I keep trying. I do try,
I'm
but
sure.
अपने ही इतना नीचे कर देते हैं ना
Forget about them. Cut
कि
cords with them. It's okay. Just cut cords. अपने नहीं है, हम अपने हैं. अपने इसलिए नीचे कर रहे हैं ताकि आप सीढ़ियां चढ़ना सीखो. अगर आप ऊपर ही रहोगे तो आपको पता ही नहीं लगेगा कि मैं और ऊपर कैसे जा सकती हूँ. Isn't it? तो जो सो कॉल्ड अपने हैं, सभी अपने हैं. वो भी आपके डायरेक्टली या इनडायरेक्टली आपको आगे ही बढ़ने के लिए नीचे गिरा रहे हैं. क्योंकि आप में अपने आप उठने की क्षमता है. Isn't it? So don't get hopeless at all. Just trust that life is serving you. You have that ability to pick yourself up and walk up. And really, you're going to be happy every day. Send a joke. There are these small, small reels that my daughter keeps sending me. Stupid. Some children just
I
say,
make those. I also make those.
yeah, I like, what is this? But at least when you look at it, it makes you laugh. So the outside, those people who are making you feel low or whatever has happened, that is not changing. But when you look at that, you can laugh. Like right now, you can laugh, isn't it? And you look so beautiful when you smile. So just look at yourself and laugh, and it's fine. It's okay. Laugh at yourself and say, wow, look at yourself in the mirror and say, wow, I'm so beautiful. And I'm only going to look more beautiful because now I'm only going to be laughing and smiling all my life. Forget about those people. Let them be where they are. Don't disrespect them. Don't push them. Don't negate them. Don't curse them. Just say thank you for pushing me. But now enough. Nobody can push me. Right? They are pressing that trigger to make you unhappy. And the moment they press it, you fall into that. But now the battery is discharged. Nobody can press any triggers and nothing can make you cry. Yeah. So just pick yourself up from wherever you are. And you have to show to your parents, who've supported you, who've given you that life, that they've not brought up an unhappy child. They would be feeling so guilty and unhappy with but the moment you start to feel happiness with your life circumstances, which cannot be changed. Now, this is your destiny. But how you choose to react and live in that destined situation can help you so much. Isn't it? And ask for help. Don't hesitate. You're not even on the Reiki group.
Hey, ma'am. But I did ask my life coach, so she started chakra healing and Reiki healing.
So I will put you on the Reiki group. You can reach out anytime on the Reiki group and ask for help. We had this, there's a lady in our Reiki group, Isabel, who's now moved to Europe. She had a driver many years back whose son had just got into IIT. And the driver asked this lady that, do your daughters have a second-hand laptop? Because my son needs a laptop. He's got into IIT, which is not a joke to get into IIT Delhi. And she just put it on the Reiki group and the gratitude group. And everybody contributed. Somebody put 500, somebody put 1,000, somebody put 50, somebody put 5,000. It doesn't matter. We got that boy that laptop. And what a blessing to be able to help somebody, to support somebody, I would say. Isn't it? So whether it's physical physical, mental, emotional, ask. We don't say that we are giving. We are only being that channel to tell everybody that there is no separation, whether it's a driver's son or whether it's my son. Isn't it? So ask for help. Ask, I just want to be happy, full stop. How it's going to come, why I'm not happy, all those questions are not your problem. Just say, God, I only want to be happy. Show me what is happiness. Isn't it? Even if you're in a state of neutrality and peace, it is just fine. Slowly, slowly, you'll start moving. So firstly, you have to come into a space of neutrality. Cut cords with those people who are putting you down and just connect with love in your heart. Just connect to the love inside and you will see your happiness coming back to you. Kuch nahi karna, kuch bhi nahi karna. Okay, we are life coaches, we are Reiki therapists. I do all this work all my life, every day, 24/7. But more than that is just being connecting to your breath, just coming into a neutral space. Just breathing on with your breath, being aware of your breath. Breathe 3 breaths, come into that space of stillness. Breathe into your heart center. And there'll just be nothingness. Believe me, you can be there. Okay, and I'm going to send you a little grounding meditation, which I do in all my Reiki sessions. So just listen to these things. Just switch off now. Just shut that thing and all that unhappiness burnt and just bury it, burn it, whatever you want to. You are not going back to that. You're not crying with stories of your past or with emotions of your past. They're just there to be wiped out now. And just that one, like if we are laughing, all of us are laughing right now. There's nothing more. There's absolutely nothing more needed, isn't it? So forget your past stories. Forget what has happened. It's happened. It's over. The best thing about the past is that it is over. Isn't it? And each one of us has the right to be happy because that's how we are born. That's our natural way of being. It's only these expectations and these sense of separation and these aspirations that we are not able to kind of, that we only build for ourselves and then we are only disappointed. And then we come into that state of unhappiness. Promise yourself that I'm not going to be unhappy. I am only going to be happy. Just keep writing that. My life is fulfilled and I'm full of happiness in and around. Any one affirmation, just pick up any simple thing and just keep coming. Now we've started back on so many Reiki sessions. We just keep having, we had one session on Friday just to release all these pain bodies, So just keep putting yourself out and keep coming to these sharings and, just pour out anything that is uncomfortable. Right, Srishti and Tanvi will reach out to you for Saturday also, and they will give you that that grounding meditation also. Okay. Yeah, and just promise us, all of us here are praying and sending you so much love, Snigdha, that you will not like think of yourself as a victim. The moment you step out of that, and this life situation that you have gone through or are in is only going to help you to empower yourself, and who knows how many more you will empower just by sharing your story. Not many have the courage to even speak up like you are speaking. And it's okay to cry and put it all out, but nothing to, if the crying makes you unhappy, you're not going to cry. You remove your hands and I want to see a big smile on your face. And let's all put on our cameras and smile and really, really send love to Snigdha. Because we really love you and you are just so, so wonderful. Yeah, we're all sending you love. Just receive it. Know that you deserve it. Forget about just getting love from, just this person and that person, my children, my husband, my parents, my boss. Forget about it. Just open yourself to love from wherever you receive. It doesn't matter. Okay? And you will see how much you'll be able to receive in your life. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for sharing and, really getting answers for so many others on this group. You are that medium who's done that. And I can assure you that so many will put their hands up if I ask, because everybody has different situations in their lives which they are struggling with, which are making them unhappy. But I'm wanting each one of you to pick up that situation in your life and use it to empower yourself. have that energy, you can either be victimized with it or empowered. So we are not going to look down. We are only going to push ourselves, even if it is just climbing up 1 micromillimeter. It's like, wow, wow. Pat yourself on the back. Write in your journal, write on the group. Today, whole day, I was like just silent. I was just peaceful. Even past stories came up, but I was still able to connect to the peaceful part of me. Yeah.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. So we are only going to be happy, 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 happy. Okay. Thank you so much. Manisha wrote that she has to leave, and it's okay when I need to leave. I have a class at 11:30, but thank you. Thank you so much, Snigdha, and thank you all of you for supporting. And I know that we've touched many of your pain bodies in this group, but just know that they're not being scratched. They're only being totally healed now. So just pick yourself up, gather that strength to understand that you're not meant to be sad or unhappy or in pain. You're only given this beautiful life to live. And even if you try so many times that, okay, I'm going to end my life, I'm going to slit my wrist, I'm going to jump off the roof, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. If you're not meant to die, you will not die. It's not in our hands. Can you not see? There's a universe that is running this entire life, this entire show. And God wants you to live. Enjoy this life. Be peaceful, be happy, empower yourself, empower others. So all this shows us that even if I want to kill myself and I have, poison, I'm still alive. So understand the depth of this thing. Why is it that I'm alive? Why is it that I'm here listening to all this? There is a very, very deeper meaning, because you're worthy of living. You're worthy of enjoying, being happy. God has chosen you to live. Some people want to live, but they can't live. They just die, isn't it? And here you're wanting to die. But so this is how life is. This is how life is. It is not in our hands. Life and death, of course, nothing is in our life. Nothing is in our control. Can we even control our breath for, some like a long time? Maybe when we do pranayama or something, yes, for a little bit, we can control our breath. Even our breath is not in our control. Yeah. So what is in your control? Just understand there is a higher plan. There is a bigger perspective to everything in life. And we cannot understand it, so don't try to understand it. Just say, okay, this is life. Now let me make the best of it. Isn't it? It's like somebody's throwing stones at you. You can use those stones to build your home, or you can just stand and be hit by those stones and feel the pain. Yeah? Good. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.